Tonight's stories. Security.
Super.
Stranded.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Comfort Level Podcast. I'm Maddie, and I'm here with...
Brandon.
Sam.
Wow. The three of us are back together.
The three amigos.
Back in a room.
It's us.
And all of our words start with S.
What is it? I'm thinking it's the three best friends that
anybody could have. It's the three best friends that anybody could have. It's the three best friends that anybody could have. And we'll never, ever, ever, ever stop being best friends.
Is that how the song goes?
Yeah.
I don't know how the end is, but it's the we'll never, ever, ever, and then something happens.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know how it ends.
Okay.
Hangover, right? I just remember the song. I can't remember what.
Oh,
movie.
with Zach Galifianakis, maybe.
Oh.
I haven't seen The
Been a
Hangover
long
in
time.
forever.
It's been a long time.
The day that you're seeing this, we're streaming.
We're actively streaming right now.
Hopefully, and if not, we're going to be streaming like the next 40 minutes to an hour if you're watching this. What are we doing on the stream? We're definitely doing stories.
We're going to do stories.
Are we doing Call of Duty, or like are we in our gamer era?
I feel like it's not do Call of Duty.
You don't want to do Call of Duty?
That might.
I just recently got into Call of Duty because SJ got all of us into it.
SJ got literally each one of us into Call of Duty.
And Myra was convincing of Sam, but then once I heard Sam and SJ liked it, and then
we were having a ball.
Alicia's fiance was like, why don't you just get the Game Pass for like $10 a month? I'm like, huh?
We should be Call of Duty streamers. Let's screw all the stories. Just stream Call of Duty.
Okay, so now you're in on Call of Duty. Okay, because I'm like, no matter what we do, we're streaming. So if you want to check us out, if we're not reading, we're probably talking, or we're going to play a game towards the end of stream for sure. So this first story is, am I the asshole for leaving my husband and stepdaughter stranded on Christmas when I found out he gave her my big Christmas gift? My husband, 41 male, is the worst at gift giving. We have been together for over 3 years, and after the first year of not receiving anything for my birthday, anniversary, Christmas, Valentine's, and Mother's Day, which was the last straw, after being told I wasn't his mother, I decided to start matching energy. Father's Day came, and I was gone all day when normally I would have put together a big lunch or dinner and drive 30 to 45 minutes to go get his daughter, a now 16-year-old, so they could spend the day together. He called me in the afternoon, and I was polite, but not initiating conversation. He asked me when I was picking up his daughter, and I replied I had plans and I wasn't aware that I was supposed to pick her up since nothing was communicated to me. And when he responded with, "It's Father's Day," I used his response back of, "You're not my father." I had anticipated him getting upset and knew a constructive conversation would not be had. So when he started to raise his voice, I told him to check the table and hung up. I had left a letter to him communicating how much I was hurt about going out of my way for him and not having any sort of reciprocation. He called me later and said he would try and be better and work on it. I ended up going to get his daughter during the week so they could enjoy a dinner together. Background information, he drives big rig trucks, so the vehicle we use for everyday travel is mine. He's been better about the gifts. It's more of a go pick something out and I'll pay for it, which I really don't mind. He does the same thing with his daughter. I do all the shopping for his family gifts when it comes to birthdays and holidays. Cut to a week before Christmas and I wake up to my favorite coffee drink, my husband taking me out to eat for breakfast, followed by a trip to the mall to pick out my Christmas gift. I rarely splurge on myself when it comes to purses and clothes. I have a preteen son from my first marriage, so I tend to be more practical on myself and spend on him for his birthday and Christmas. My stepdaughter, however, is very materialistic and is always asking for money or something expensive, and between her father and his family and her mother and her family and her stepfather, she always gets it. I've been repeatedly saying out loud that I needed a new purse since mine was hanging on by a thread and had decided to invest in a good designer handbag. I started saving money and looking online for my new dream purse. So imagine my surprise and excitement when we get to the department store and I see they have my dream purse in stock. My husband sort of gave a look when he saw the price, and I told him I could contribute and explained how I had been saving so I could save enough to get this purse, and that I had been dreaming about it for months. He shook his head and said I deserved it and he would get it for me, but also gave me the expectation that since he was getting me this, that he couldn't really afford to get me anything else. I screamed with delight and told him that was okay and I didn't need anything else. With that taken care of, my husband asked if it was okay to go get his daughter and take her Christmas shopping. I had tons to do at home in preparation for the holiday, so that worked out, so I could have the house empty to get done what I needed. I was reaching to get my purse when we arrived home and he said for me to leave it because he had another gift he had previously purchased for me that he was going to put inside the purse for me to open on Christmas. I was on cloud 9, so I kissed him and left my bag and went inside. I was still busy cleaning and decorating when he got home later that night, and the rest of the days before Christmas were all a blur with me trying to get the house ready for the holiday. I hosted Christmas Eve at my house with my family, and Christmas Day I slept in, tired from the night before, and woke up with enough time to brush my teeth before we headed out to get his daughter and then drive to spend the rest of the day at his mother's house. I fell asleep on the drive and woke up after his daughter was picked up and we were already en route to his mom's house. I turned around to greet his daughter, and that's when I saw her rummaging and holding my new purse. "Where did you get that purse?" I asked her, and the car fell completely silent. I looked at my husband, and he stayed silent with both hands on the wheel looking straight ahead. I asked her again, this time louder with a more stern tone, and she looked down and quietly mumbled, "My dad gave it to me." "You what?" I screamed. "How would you think this is okay to give her my new purse?" He told me to calm down, and I cut him off and I screamed, "No," and then turned back to his daughter and told her that her father had no right to give her my purse and that she needed to give it back to me, which she refused. I could feel my anger raging inside, then subsiding to a feeling of sadness and complete defeat. I put my coat over my head and leaned against the window, trying to cover my face and mouth as tears started running down my cheeks. Pulled over at the next gas station, and his daughter bolted out, taking the purse with her. He tried to comfort me, to which I slapped his hand away and I told him to not touch me and gave him a look of disgust. He informed me that after he dropped me off that day, he picked up his daughter, took her shopping, and on the way of taking her home, she noticed the bag and saw the purse. She begged and pleaded with him to please let her have it. She reminded him about all the times he never got her a gift and how giving her this purse would make up for it. And that played on his heart, and he finally caved and gave her my purse. He tried to say he was going to make it up to me, and I asked him how, knowing it was impossible. He already spent his money and made it clear that he wasn't going to have money to buy me anything else. I couldn't help but get upset as I tried to get him to understand how hurt I felt and how it's not like she was suffering with getting to open presents from her mother and stepfather plus gifts from their family along with the gifts that she was going to get from his family, and that he already spent money on her for Christmas presents, and that was my one gift. I know Christmas is not about getting presents, but I was extremely upset that my husband could be so thoughtless and not consider the amount of pain that this was going to cause me. His phone rang and his daughter was calling from the inside, asking him to come inside because she needed money to buy something. As he was walking into the store, I looked back and tears began to fill my eyes as I saw all the gifts that I had picked out for his family with care. Something came over me and I stopped crying and got out and got in the driver's seat and wiped my face and peeled out of the gas station parking lot, leaving my husband and stepdaughter behind. I turned my phone off and I drove back to town, and I spent the day with my family at my cousin's house and stayed with them, not returning any of my husband's phone calls and not returning home until late the following day. The only phone call I did return was the one from my stepdaughter's mother to set her straight after she left me a hateful message about leaving her daughter stranded because I was jealous her father bought her a new purse. I told her she had been told a lie, and I informed her of the truth, that in fact her father did not buy her a new purse. He bought me a new purse, and she played on her father's emotions after he already bought her expensive items for her Christmas list to guilt him into giving her my purse. She apologized and tried to come up with a solution, to which I replied for her not to bother. The damage has been done. I found out through my sister-in-law that my husband's brother went to go get them, and the story came out later that evening. His mother is on his side, while his brother and sister-in-law and other aunts and uncles sided with me and got onto his daughter. I have not spoken to his daughter since Christmas, and things are unsettling at the house. I have become more distant from my husband, and when I make dinner, I don't serve him a plate. I serve only my son and myself. and I only engage in conversation with my son. He's tried to reach for me at night when we're in bed, and I always end up crying. I'm not angry or mad. I just feel nothingness. He came back on the road, and I do miss him, but I can't shake the feeling of how he let me down, and I cannot hide my looks of disappointment, looking to see what others have to say about this situation.
That was a story.
That's a hot one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because originally hearing through the story, it was a long story. I'm like, oh, this is just a tale of problematic relationships between blended families and like jealousy of this kid is that person's and this kid is that person's. But it really just boils down to me, the husband, who has this person who's willing to accept, like, frankly, I think lazy way of giving gifts. I think it's lazy. I don't think everyone's a good gift giver, but I think people should still try or do something or whatever. That's their own thing. But OP's agreeing to this way of giving gifts of I pick my thing and I just pay for it. So it's so easy to do. It's incredibly easy to do that. I literally just buy this thing. You're with me. I'm buying this thing and all I have to do is give it to you. Mm-hmm. And you can't do that. I can see how you'd be so defeated. Because it's not like you got a disappointing gift from a partner that you didn't have any part in. Like, you just know this is how the system goes, and this basic system failed. That shows that you don't even care about anything. Like, your daughter can override even this little thing that you were supposed to do for me. And how does that show, like, do I feel important to you at all in this? Or is your daughter always going to come first in every single thing? Even my own Christmas gift, she gets that.
Yeah.
Because they were coming back from getting the daughter's gift. This wasn't before. So the daughter got her gifts. They already went through their system. They're coming back to the house. And she's like, oh, can I have the purse too?
Yeah.
I get the feeling that this sucks.
Let me that purse. It's crazy too because, like, thinking about it, big picture, it seems like the relationship had way more deeper issues. It seems like she had the love language of gift giving or gift getting. Like that's what one of her love languages was, and he just wasn't attending to that at all. And so when she finally finds a compromise, like, I do like getting gifts, it does make me feel loved in a certain sense. He doesn't even do that, but then they can finally work out an agreement to where she's still getting gifts and he can still have the laziness of it, I guess. He doesn't have to think about it, just
low effort.
Yeah, no effort.
Low effort.
Oh, low effort. Low effort, no effort.
Yeah.
But just, here's the money, go get it. Instead of like taking the time to buy it and wrap it. And then, but it sucks that that's like the breaking point of all of it, because the bigger issue was that he didn't tend to her love languages. He wasn't attentive. Man.
Especially because, as you guys are saying, like, this isn't the first time it's happened. This was a solution to a problem that was already addressed. And so it's not like, even this is such a big thing where it's so neglectful of, this is the one thing that I wanted, and you give it to somebody else who I see all the time, who already has a ton of gifts. So even that of just seeing somebody communicate to you overwhelmingly, like, you don't have to give me anything else. This is how much I want this one thing.
Yeah.
And then you carelessly give it to somebody else. But because even that happening one time, I think that would be like a really big issue, kind of hard to come back from. But the fact of a whole year of holidays going by and her probably doing a lot for her partner, and then him not doing anything, and him only realizing or starting to realize a little bit when she gives him back a taste of his own medicine. And that's when he gets upset and she has to leave. And she's like, I already anticipated this. Read that letter. Go ahead and read that letter for me. Yeah, it's frustrating. I don't think she's the asshole for leaving. Because I could see why she did that, of you paid for this, but this is all my work of buying all these Christmas presents for your family.
Right.
You don't even care enough about your own family to get them stuff. I'm doing this for them,
Right.
That's
for
wild.
you.
Yeah.
So yeah, eventually they can have it, but I'm out of here. This is my car. I'm going. This is frustrating. You have enough money to buy all this stuff. You can get somebody else to come pick you up.
Right.
Thankfully, it's not like they were completely stranded somewhere else. They could be in a warm building for a period of time until they could get help.
Yeah.
They were probably like 25 minutes to whatever away from somebody else. So thankfully they were able to get picked up. But I think at that point it was so upsetting for OP that I think it was good that she separated herself from the situation.
The only thing is, because you can look at the daughter and like, oh, the daughter's selfish, blah blah blah. She's even the one who asked for the purse. But to me, at the end of the day, she's still a child. So it's the dad who really is at fault in all situations. So leaving the daughter there, I'm still with the mom where I'm like, you left my kid at this place? I'm getting pissed too. Even though I guess the mom did kind of understand what was happening. I'm like, I don't think I would have left the daughter, even though it doesn't seem like OP really
Knew her that well.
yeah, or really is a fan of the daughter. Just the language he talks about the daughter.
Yeah.
He's
No.
not really a fan of this kid. So I'm like, some of that can play into like how your actions, because I'm like, I would have left the husband 100%. But I don't know if I'm leaving the 16-year-old.
Yeah.
She's 16? I don't know.
Yeah.
16. But what would you do for the 16-year-old? Because like I get what you're saying too, but at the same time, there's certain actions that have to be corrected. Like it's a little bit of manipulation what you just did.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But this is like clocking the issues that happen in blended families where obviously OP doesn't feel like she has the right to interject with how she feels she's being parented, because she's like, yeah, she's materialistic. She gets all the things she wants. She doesn't. I don't know if she's able to voice this to the dad or voice this in the family, or are they like, some blended families, they're like, we are parents. Like, I am also their dad. They have a dad. I'm also their dad, and I can have input. And some are like, no, that's my kid, and that's my kid. This is my son. That's your daughter. We don't mix. We might live in the same house, but we don't mix. And I think that's unfortunate. And it's hard to interject. I don't know what OP, it doesn't seem like they have a good relation where she's actually parenting the daughter. So I'm like, I would bring them back, but I'm like, I'm pissed at you.
Yeah.
I'm mad at you.
Honestly, I mean, I know people might disagree, but I think the fact that she was there with her dad, I don't think it was wrong for OP to leave the daughter too, because the main reason why she was upset was at the two of them. So I'm not going to bring you back in here with the gift that I'm going to look at as I'm taking you to where you need to be. No, you're with your father. You're okay. You're going to be fine.
But
You guys can get help.
that's the only reason why I'm pissed. I'm not pissed at OP. I'm pissed at the dad specifically, is because the 16-year-old's going to do what she's going to do. Of course, if she's materialistic and she wants things, she's going to ask for the purse. You spineless dude can't say no to your daughter for a gift that you already had allocated to someone else.
Well, I think it's that whole manipulation thing.
Even manipulation. Kids are constantly trying to manipulate.
But
parents are just supposed to be like, "Hope you got me."
She said something that probably kind of got him.
Yeah, that's on
because
him now.
I know it's on him, but it's like she said something that got to him.
Obviously.
And it was the whole, because she was like, well, this will make up for all the times.
Which is a crazy
what is he
thing to say.
I wonder what he's like, if it was a financial thing as to why he wasn't like buying gifts or being there. Or
Well, the way that, if we're to hear what the 16-year-old said, I think it was when she was younger, he probably wasn't able to buy her everything, because now it seems like he's willy-nilly with, yeah, here, take this. This is my token of appreciation for you. Here's a gift. Here's money. Here's money. Here's money.
Not talking from not a parent, but talking as not a parent, I would be like, your gift is you're 16 years old and you're alive right now. I don't owe you gifts. I don't think kids owe you. I think it's good that kids get gifts. I'm like, I liked getting gifts as kids, but I wasn't owed it.
Like if you start expecting gifts,
Yes.
that's when I'm probably not going to give you that many
You're
gifts.
here.
But I think just the
You need to
way
have appreciation for gifts.
The way he gave off the bag, I don't think he's that type of parent.
He's not.
So like you're like in a perfect world, yes.
But for me, I'm like, then I don't know if I want you like as a father figure, and like this is like a relationship thing where I'm like, are you good for my son?
Yeah.
I think I get what you're both saying. Like, I feel like you guys are both agreeing on it, but it's just a matter of, yes, I can feel bad for the dad of like, hey, he's a person who she dug right into that wound and he was manipulated.
Yeah.
But also it's his job at the end of the day to stand up and say, no, don't do that. But I get what you're saying of like,
do it.
Yeah, like I get what you guys are both saying. I think at the end of the day, if we shouldn't blame children, then it should be on him because, you know, she is learning that she can get away with a lot of stuff because he won't say no. Even though she is being a mean child, he should also be correcting her being mean.
Right.
Stand up, man. Be a father.
And also, I think I'm saying in a perfect world too of like, I'm saying I wouldn't, even though I don't even know if that's actually true. I do respect OP for pulling out of the situation.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not against them leaving. I think in a perfect world, you're like, I'll suck it up and take them. But that is a perfect world. To feel that disappointment and probably the anger and all that comes with that, it's probably best to like peel out and get out of there.
And this was what I was gonna add. Sorry.
I was going to say, usually I don't necessarily agree with the people on Reddit that are like immediate divorce, but I don't know.
I'm like,
you need to,
it's
because
like, you care about them.
There's no way that if he's going to be like that with his own, oh my God, it doesn't get better. And then the way in which OP will see the 16-year-old daughter is not going to be healthy
this is not
for the future.
I was gonna add this earlier of like the whole thing of why I didn't think it was bad that she left. One, because like you're saying, like I said, her dad was there, but also because, as OP said, she has not spoken to the daughter. So to a certain extent, I don't think OP was like, yeah, I know your mom is going to be pissed that I just left you. And I don't care. I don't care to have a relationship with you going forward. So at a certain point when she was doing it, I really think she was like, yeah, I know your mom's going to be mad. And I don't plan on speaking to either of you ever again.
Well, interesting. That's the only call she answered.
Well, yeah, because
the mom.
The mom was like being told a lie. And she was like, that's not what happened. If you want to know what happened, here's what happened. But also, I'm not going to speak to your daughter for a long time because I'm still upset about it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, daughter bad, but it's the dad who needs to be the one to stand up and say that stuff.
Any kid that's bad, I think it's influences of the parents.
And I agree with Brandon on like the fact of, I don't know how it's going to work moving forward because she's been constantly not disappointed, but it seems like somebody said it earlier of like, does this man care about you?
Right.
She's had so many moments of importance to her where he has not shown up.
Yeah.
And it's like at a certain point, especially something like big like this, I would just be like, yeah, I don't think we can be together anymore because I don't think you care about me.
Right.
To even consider something as small as keeping something that you got specifically for me, when your daughter got a ton of gifts from a bunch of different family members and I only got one thing and you couldn't even keep that for me.
And that reminds me of a friend who's dating someone and they've had issues with like effort being put into the relationship, and he has a daughter and they're really close. Like he takes care of the daughter. It's like he's the primary caregiver. But they have issues where she's like, you have so much energy with your daughter, but it seems like we have nothing for ourselves. And so they got something. It was just literally playing It Takes Two, a game. They're like, this is a couple thing. We're going to do this. You know how cute that game is. You're like, yeah, we're playing it together. And then the daughter comes involved and he kind of allows her to like be involved in it when it was only supposed to be a two thing. And some people are like, that's so, like, why are you getting mad about that? And we're like, if you feel like we don't have anything, like
we had one thing
and this person's still getting involved, what do we have? What is our relationship?
Yeah.
Am I a priority at all? And I'm like, this seems similar where I'm like, it can seem so little, but I just want to be in someone who like values me. That's what like I want to be someone who values and cares about me and wants to do things for me. That's like why would I else be in a relationship? Then I just not date anybody then.
Because that does remind me of like little kids where like when they're younger and like say a couple has like a son and he's like all about the mom and the daughter's all about the dad, to the point where sometimes like if the parents are being affectionate, like say if it's the son, well I've seen like the daughter for sure, but like say if the mom's trying to hug up on the father, the daughter will like grab the mom's hand and be like, this is my dad. You know, it's like it makes sense that the kids would be territorial, but at that point you should step in and be like, this is our one thing that we do. You and I will have to find a different game to play, but this is what we do.
Right. This is us thing.
Because I could understand that being like, this is all we had.
This is
and
all we have, and
she has to be in this too.
Taken away.
Yeah.
Because it kind of reminds me of what like our pastors would say of like the relationship between the husband and the wife is more important than the relationship between the parents and the children. Which some people are like, oh no, the kids are the most important. But I do see the value in that. Like we have to be good, we have to be tight, we have to be strong in order to be good parents to these children. And their needs are very important. But if we're not good, it's going to affect them the most.
But then having blended families, it makes it that much harder because you're like, this was my kid first. You're newer. And so it's like,
it's really tough.
Because honestly, in any other circumstance, if it was like just like your daughter or something, I think people would look down upon like what you're sticking with her over like looking out for your daughter. It's looked down upon if it's like only one parent's kid. Like, why aren't they looking out for the kid? But I know that's like, it's situations are all super specific.
Nuance.
But I also know I've seen both where if it is a blended family, you're kind of expected to be like looking out for your kid more than the partner. But it makes sense that you would want to really work on the partner relationship too, in order to make sure that thrives and lasts and is healthy.
The whole danger of saying like, you're a kid. My favorite blended family is like, you almost can't tell whose kids are who because everyone's treating them. That's my son. Like that's our son. That's our daughter. It doesn't matter where they came from. And I think those are the healthiest ones. Some people with those blended families have like even stronger relationships than people in traditional homes because they've had to do that acceptance. And they have more family and more people to pull from. But it's so hard. I think it is. Some of those families make it look easier than it is. There's probably a lot of work that goes into that.
Probably a ton of work. Because initially the kid or the parent has to have that trust to be like, eventually like, I'm okay with calling you mom or dad. Like even that, thinking about if I called somebody else mom or dad that wasn't my mom or dad, knowing my parents are separated, it gives me an icky feeling. So having to get past that and then have like genuine love of like, this person helped raise me, this person is important to me, that's got to be a lot of work for those families. And then even harder for
your parents. To hear that. To hear if your dad heard you call someone else dad or your mom heard you call someone else mom, and they're like,
I'm okay with it. We're a team. We're a team.
Depending on the way it like works too, if they have more respect for the person that is newer. Being like that, and it's like, oh, like that's my dad.
Which I think happens a lot because it's easier to like the new thing when they haven't had time to disappoint you.
Yeah, true. Like, I think that's that whole thing that happens. I said this one time a long time ago, but like when it comes to cheating, it's a lot easier to not blame, like say if it was your husband cheating, it's a lot easier to not blame your husband because you have love for your husband compared to the other woman who you just have hate for. So I think it's opposite of like you have love and hate for like a parent that might be in and out of your life or whatever, compared to like a parent that's been there for you and who's been a long-term partner for your parent, your other parent. I don't know. I'll read top comment. Take the stress off of everybody. Don't worry about it. Check out the words. Because it's like a healthy thing of like, check out the words, guys.
Yeah, that's good. Check them out.
Yeah, sometimes you got to flip the switch on them.
So top comment, the way he continually ignored you on all major events and milestones and then gave away your first actual gift that you had to choose and partially pay for, which I don't think she ended up paying for, but she offered to.
She offered to.
Yeah, I don't think she did.
Is appalling, not the asshole.
Dude, if she had paid for that,
No, that at that point,
Dude,
give
if
me
she
my
had paid
purse.
for that, oh my.
That's robbery at that. That's actually robbery.
Does he even want a wife? He doesn't sound like he cares for you at all.
Facts.
Yeah.
That top comment will do it to you.
Or
Kind of ended that whole conversation
like this next story. Look at us. We're all healthily looking at the board. We're
It's
all
all good.
trying
It's
to
all
transition.
fun.
It's fun.
It's
We're
for the
having
betterment
fun.
of the podcast. We're all doing it.
Why are your eyes saying something different?
I don't know, because I think internally
something new.
there's still an anger because we turned it into a game. I think if we had it, I think at the beginning it was literally we're just trying to transition. It's nice, but then it became like a competition of who can do it.
Yeah.
And I'm
First, the best,
yeah, and
the
I feel
most.
like Maddie made it into that, and so
I don't know about that.
I
but
feel like it was Maddie. Actually, no, I feel like it was your skill at it and my anger at your skill at it.
You're like
that turned it
super
into
like
it.
this next story. Yeah.
And then she transitions my story away.
No. I
And
won't.
I'm mad again.
Okay, so this next story is: am I the asshole for getting alimony ended when my ex moved in with her boyfriend?
Oh,
And something I didn't think about until the end: it's not child support, it's alimony.
yeah. So for your spouse.
So it's for your spousal support.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, I, 41 male, have a 12-year-old son with my ex-wife, 37 female. We divorced 5 years ago. I pay child support and formally alimony. Shortly after our divorce, she took in her sister's son, who is currently 10. They live in our old home, which has 3 bedrooms. Almost 2 years ago, my ex started dating a guy and is now 4-ish months pregnant. He moved in about the same time she found out she was pregnant. He has a daughter from a previous relationship. His daughter was given her own room, and my son and his cousin now share a room. My son is upset about this and has asked to live with me full time. I went to my lawyer and began that process to get full custody. I have wanted full custody since we divorced, but my son has never indicated that he wanted that, so I didn't push for it. I also found out from my lawyer that my ex living with her boyfriend gives me the right to terminate alimony in my state. My previous lawyer said it was only if she got remarried, so I told him to go for it. The court had ended the alimony, the custody is taking longer, and won't be decided until after the holidays. My ex is pissed about the loss of alimony because she is only working part-time and her boyfriend is a medically retired fireman, so they are struggling financially, but I feel that is extra money I could put away for my kid down the line. Am I the asshole?
Nah.
I want to read top comment because I think it describes it well, but not the asshole. There's a big difference between child support and alimony, which is spousal support.
Yeah.
The alimony is to help keep your spouse in the lifestyle they were used to, but is typically not forever. Now that she's with a new guy, it shouldn't be your responsibility to pay for her lifestyle any longer. It's not your problem that he doesn't/can't work. Best wishes for your success in the custody changes. And then somebody else also said, I hope your son ends up in the best possible living situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think alimony needs to go away like right now. But I do think when alimony was created, there was definitely a situation where typically it was the man working and the women primarily being at home and not even having the same access to like jobs and education as they do now. So it was like very clear. If you divorce and you leave this woman, she literally has no recourse to make money at all or make money even close to what you were doing. So alimony really made sense. I think there's still circumstances where it does still make sense now because there's still a lot of stay-at-home moms, stay-at-home dads that need that kind of money to get that grace period until they can do it for themselves. But it definitely shouldn't be forever.
Yes.
And I definitely see it differently than child support, where I'm like, if you're not full custody, or if the other person's full custody and you're not, you need to be contributing to that. And I need a legally binding thing to make sure you're doing it. So,
Yeah, I agree.
I like how he's and it's one thing to just terminate it, but he's also trying to make sure all his bases are covered to get his son back too. So there's really no reason for the alimony to continue.
Yeah, especially if the son were to come live with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think Because I think she said they were divorced they've been divorced for 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years is a long time
That's
to
a
be on
long
alimony.
time.
And I do agree with the whole thing of like, she's in a relationship now. That partner should be helping to build towards whatever they're doing. And he doesn't need to be helping to like support her. I don't understand that.
Yeah. The child, you're always responsible for the child. I mean, even if they're 18,
Yeah.
like our parents are like still, I don't think they're responsible for us, but I think they feel responsibility for us.
Yeah.
But for someone I divorced, I'm doing this as long as it's legally done. And then you're with another guy, I'm done.
Especially a guy that added 2 more children, basically.
Because I get that like she's about to become stressed out because she's pregnant. So she's about to be in a situation where she's not working if she can help it. But it sounds like they're struggling, but that's not his responsibility to do.
It's not my job anymore. I just need to make sure my son's good.
Yeah, because he didn't say anything about if she like was working that whole time. Because like what you were saying with alimony and stuff, it also I feel like depends on how long you've been out of the workforce too. But she's working part-time, so.
And I think from the other story we had with alimony, if you make a certain amount of money, was there a certain amount of money that you make?
Let me look it up because I don't remember that story and I don't want to
misquote it.
The main part of that story that I remember was she was not moving. She had been with her boyfriend for a long time and she wouldn't move in because then she would have to give up alimony. And she was that situation where you're talking about where she was completely stay at home.
Yeah.
She did not have a job, like very much would not have any income. And I don't remember all the details of it, but hers made sense for her having alimony. Do you still get?
I still feel like alimony there has to be a big gap in.
Yeah, because I think we eventually talked about though, like if he's trying to get out of alimony and you've been in it for like, she was in it for like 15 to 25 years.
Yeah,
I want to throw out a big, she was in it for a lot.
It was a long time.
If you're in alimony, but you know it's probably not going to last forever, you should start building up your resume to eventually get another job and get ready for that so it doesn't hit you as hard because you're not going to be supported forever.
Right.
I think that was something that we did discuss then.
Because your job can't be alimony.
Yeah.
You're like, my job, what's your job? Alimony.
Alimony.
Okay, AI overview. Here are some factors that a court may consider when determining alimony. So let me look at something else, even though they have their
saying things that are crazy.
From Google? The AI
Yeah, Google AI overview. Google.
Okay, Boyd Law Google. Will you lose alimony if you go back to work? Most alimony payments are not lifelong orders. They come with end dates. Some spousal support orders, especially in long marriages, come with specific time frames. In other cases, alimony is awarded on an as-needed basis. So maybe the courts will assess this situation periodically. Once the spouse finds work and achieves financial stability, the paying party may no longer be legally required to. So yeah, maybe she was staying at that because she didn't have to work as much then.
Yeah.
And then she was also staying under the requirement, but that's us just assuming.
Yeah.
So yeah, that might be something to consider too, as of why she only had a part-time job at that point. But she was also raising, did she say the sister was living with her or just the sister's son?
Yeah.
So she was helping to raise like
3 kids?
Yeah, 3 kids coming on 4 kids.
Yeah.
So I don't know what all of her involvement was or even her partner's involvement.
Definitely need to get a job. Y'all need to be getting full-time jobs.
Yeah.
Because the guy was medically retired? They said
medically retired firefighter, I think. So I guess
cut.
they're probably getting something, but it's like significantly less and he can't really work to meet that. But at the end of the day, I don't think you're the asshole and I don't think that's your responsibility.
I'm not supposed to support your other family.
Yeah.
I don't think that's my job.
They might want to put them kids in a security job like
this
this
next story.
Put them kids to work, man.
Put them to work.
Am I the asshole for not giving my girlfriend my social security number so she can run a background check on me?
Who are you? Who are you?
Excuse me, you're asking for my SSN?
No.
She's scamming, bro.
Yeah, that's a
She's
scam.
scamming.
That is absolutely a scam.
Okay, I, 27 male, have been in a relationship with my girlfriend, 31 female, for almost a year now. This evening, she sat me down and said she needs to have a serious conversation with me, and she asked for my social security number. I said, absolutely not. Why would you need that? And she told me about her ex-boyfriend that was basically living a double life. He had a bunch of criminal charges in his past that he never told her about, and eventually exposed her to some sketchy and dangerous behavior before she broke things off after he cheated. I said, okay, thank you for telling me that, but what does that have to do with my social security number? She said ever since then, she's had her friend that works for the federal government run background checks on people to make sure they're safe. And because our relationship is progressing, she needs to know that I'm a safe partner for her. So she wants my SSN to check my criminal history. Now, for the record, I don't even have a parking ticket. I'm a nerd and a gym rat, and all I do is work. I go to school, I play Dungeons and Dragons, come home, watch anime, rinse and repeat. So I don't care about a background check. She won't find anything. But I'm not giving out my social security number. I don't feel comfortable enough providing that to her friend. When I said that, she got upset and said, I don't understand what women go through, and it's about safety. And I admitted she's right. I have no idea what women go through. But that doesn't mean I'm giving my SSN out to a complete stranger.
Right.
She says he isn't a stranger. He's one of my best friends, and he's married to a close friend of mine. And I said, honey, that's great, but I don't know him, and I don't trust him.
Such useless information.
That's my information you're asking for. You can trust him with your personal information if you want, but no one I don't know is getting my SSN or critical details. It's just not happening. And she said that our relationship isn't going to be able to progress until I give him my SSN because she needs to know that she's safe. And she's offended that I don't trust her taste in friends. I got up and I left at that point, and I told her I respect her concerns, but her past trauma doesn't give her the right to try and strong-arm me into giving out sensitive information to someone I don't know just because he works for the federal government and has access to the database. I used to work for the federal government, so I can say from experience, everyone working there isn't some wonderful person. I'm not assuming he's a monster or anything, but just working for the feds doesn't prove anything to me.
Right.
She called me insensitive and hasn't spoken to me since. Personally, I feel like she was gaslighting me into giving her what she wants, but I'm not sure.
Then he's like, verify that you're from the FBI. He's like, hi, I'm from the FBI. That's it. That's what those scammers be. They'll be like, oh yeah, hi, I'm such and such. And it's like, bro, that doesn't prove anything.
Yeah, have you met your friend in person? She's like, no, never. It's just this website that I talked to him on.
So I've never run a background check on anybody, but I don't know that they need Social Security. Can't you do it from other stuff?
I don't know. Because when I was like, how is she doing it? But if she has someone in the government doing it, I feel like you do need your Social Security.
I don't think you do because Walmart did a background check on me.
Well, they had your
They have
Social
your Social
Security.
Security.
They had my
number.
social.
Yeah.
I don't think they had it at that point.
When you signed up.
I think it was like literally. Wait, maybe they did already have it.
I feel like you do need it. I'm just scared for OP because if he had gave it, and then he's telling his future partners, he was like, so my identity was stolen.
Oh, so I have two different things that say criminal background checks do not require a Social Security number. Instead, they rely on name, address, and date of birth. And then there's another one that says the bottom line is you should require the Social Security number as part of your background screening program. So there's two different ones.
Okay.
So I think maybe you probably can do it without, but
Because let's talk about it from one side. I feel it's been brought up in our church with relationships of having information available. So like getting STD tests, getting your credit report, sharing that information amongst each other so you know what you're getting into. I feel like in one level, it is good to have this information to share. I think in serious relationships. I don't know if I'm dating someone and wanting to do that. Or maybe like STD tests and stuff like that. But I don't know if I'm like, I'm going to bare like my entire background to you in a dating. Because did it show how much they were dating? How long?
I think like 9 months.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm doing that. Unless like we're engaged. Like we're getting ready to be
almost
married.
a year.
And then I'm like, even though, is that too late too?
Yeah.
If you find out when you're engaged, actually, no, it's not, because you're not married. You're just like, oh, it didn't work out. I don't want to give you I'm not giving, it just seems like a scam. I'm not giving my social security. I get OP. I'm not even mad at that. That's not even a discussion. You're not getting my social security number.
I don't think you're the asshole, because I'm already sketchy about giving out social security numbers too. And if I was like you're saying, if I was in a relationship with somebody for a year and they were asking for a social security number, I would still be worried. I'm like, what do you need it for? Can I type it in?
Yeah, I'm like, is there a way that I can, apply or do the application for whatever the form? Because I think they're like, because we have to go through this friend. That's shady to me.
Yeah.
Let's go through a business or a company to do it.
Yeah, you can. There are places, I guess, where you can do background checks. Like,
right.
they can administer it for you. Why specifically do that
why
one
your
guy?
friend got to be involved?
And also, like, you're asking me to give you my social security number. Why does your friend also need my personal social security number?
Yeah.
So everybody's getting it? Should I just post it online at this point? Everybody's seeing it, right? OP's girlfriend?
I wonder what the reaction would be if he's like, I can go get it myself. The background check.
Yeah, or like you said, third party, you can come with me. But I do think, bottom line, if at the end of the day, if she's not willing to work with it, because after he said no, and if OP's girlfriend still is unsure about it, then I think at that point, and she doesn't trust it, just leave it be.
Yeah,
because it doesn't sound like you can trust OP.
Yeah.
Which, like he was saying, hey, I don't understand women's problems. Your ex was also a bad person.
Right.
I get that. I'm not your ex. And you don't know that. The only thing that you can do is trust that I'm not that person. Right. And if you don't have that trust in me, then that's a problem, because I'm not giving you my social security number.
Also, get a better friend, because actually, no, I know I have a lot of female friends, and there is some investigation you can do. They're doing it with a name. They're doing it with a name and a phone number, and they're finding out things about these men that are crazy. And I'm like, how did you find that? They're like, I have ways.
Actually, there's like whole Facebook groups dedicated.
I was talking about that today because one of my friends found out that he was
he was on one.
He's on one, and well, he dated a girl. He dated a girl like a while ago, and then he was like trying to get back with her, and I think he was like talking to other girls when they were talking, and she was like, she got pissed. She was like, he's really gonna come back, and so she put him on there, but he didn't find out. Another two of our female friends found it, and they were like trying to defend him. But I guess some of the girls that he was talking to at the same time were like, yup, he did that. He did that. I was like, oh. Because I didn't find out about it until one of my exes told me about it in general. And I'm like, am I on there? And she's like, nah, you're not on there. I was like, you better not put me on it. You better not put me on it.
I was like, why were you concerned?
I was like, yeah.
Well, there was an article, I think it was in the New York Times, where like they were talking about the good and bad of these sites. Is because one thing is, yes, you're warning women, you're telling women of like potential dangers and potential stuff, but also a lot of it's anonymous and not verified. So women who also have a vendetta can also put things on there too. And if the relationship ended badly, they're like, well, I'll blow up his whole spot. Yeah. And then people were like not even realizing that they're on there because men can't be in there. Yeah. And so you're like, every time I message someone, they're like, go away, you evil man. You're like, what did I do? And they were interviewing people on both sides. Were like, some men are like, yeah, I did bad stuff and I should be on. Some women were like, I literally did anything and they're on this thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't want to be on there, man. Mm-hmm. Luckily, I don't think I've ever done anything bad enough to deserve to be on there, but I could get the wrong person mad.
Wow. Because to a certain extent, too, OP also does not trust, which I get. I'm like, I don't trust you with this either. Like, that's a problem in our relationship in general.
Yeah.
I feel like the only time you can really trust that, though, is after the fact, after you said yes,
Yeah.
after you guys are one unit.
Yeah.
But at that point, it's too late by her standards.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really want to know what the reaction would have been if he's like, let's just go to a third party one. Like, you know, just go do that. If she still gets mad, then that is a big issue. She was definitely trying to scam you, my boy.
Okay, so
'Cause
top
that's a good
comment.
solution.
Not the asshole. I just had a background check completed. I've had them every 5-ish years for the last 20 years because I volunteer with children. Some in-state, some federal. I also have been screened by the government for a permit several times. I have never had to provide an SSN. Sadly, I think your girlfriend may be the criminal and you may be her long con mark.
Oh, man. That's so true. Yeah, because I did mentoring and they do background checks. I didn't give them my social security number.
Yeah.
Somebody else said, that's what I'm saying. You don't need the SSN to run a good background check these days. Everything is there online. Jail records and court documents are free. All you need is the city name and date of birth to find everyone's criminal history with pictures to prove it's really them. And then update. After reading the comments I've been getting over the last few days, I've decided to call her on New Year's Eve and give things one last chance because I'm the type of person that needs to know I did everything I could before I walk away from a relationship. And some people said she has valid concerns and she just went about them the wrong way, which made sense. I told her, I understand and respect your need to ensure your safety, but I'm not willing to potentially compromise my safety to make you feel safe by handing over my SSN to somebody I don't know and don't trust. And it's illegal for him to even use a federal database for personal
I
reasons.
was going to say that. I was like, can you do that even?
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, this for sure is a scam actually.
So that's out. But what I will do is pay for a background check of your choosing so long as it's a legitimate service and give you the results. I will not be providing my social security number to anyone, but my address, date of birth, and etc. are all fair game. She refused and said she has chosen a background check and that she's having her friend do it because she knows that she can trust him. So I said, if that's how you feel and you won't budge, then the issue here is trust. And I'm not willing to stay in a relationship with a woman that doesn't trust me because of some shit that doesn't have anything to do with me. I'm not paying for another man's sins and I'm not giving you my social security number because your ex was a criminal. She started crying and asking why I can't understand that it's not about me, it's about her. And as I said, you made it about me when you asked for my social security number. She got pissed and started accusing me of lying and caring about her safety and saying, if I really cared, then I'd have no problem doing this because I don't understand how vulnerable women are in society. So I said I was willing to work with you up to a reasonable point. But now you're just trying to manipulate me and I don't feel safe being with you anymore. Because this is how you react when you don't get your way about having my SSN. What happens next when we have a major disagreement or a serious situation comes up? Are you going to keep crying to try and get your way or throw out another ultimatum to try and force me into doing what you want? She started saying that as a man, I can't understand what it's like to go through life as a woman and having to be afraid and that this is what she has to do for her safety and security. And I just need to respect that and give her what she needs for her comfort. And I was like, I tried to compromise, but you wouldn't accept it. There's nothing more here to say. And to be clear, I wasn't exactly calm. I have severe anxiety, so this was a really, really hard conversation for me to have. I was actively pacing around my house and sweating and forcing words out the entire time. Then she started crying and asking about New Year's because we were supposed to spend it with her parents. And I said, you should have thought about that before you tried to strong arm me into getting your way. This isn't and everyone stood up and applauded moment. That's just how things went. I hung up and now we're over. Obviously I'm hurt, but I'm realizing I dodged a bullet because there's no reason shit should have gotten this fucking messy. And before anyone tries to jump me in the comments again, I offered to pay for the check. She refused because it wasn't the test she wanted. I feel like I made a good effort to resolve things. Hate to ring in the new year without a kiss under the mistletoe, but it is what it is. I don't know if she really is that concerned I'm some lunatic criminal or if she's really trying to scam me like you said. Either way, it's over now.
I have a theory.
Yeah.
I feel like it wasn't. I don't think that she was really with him.
Oh, you think she was with a friend or something?
I think she was with the friend or they were like accomplices. I think this probably was legit a scam.
It sounds
because
like
of the way in which she was using the arguments. She was like pulling on that. Is it pathos? Is it ethos? Ethos is emotion, right?
I don't know. You do you.
Yeah, you got your
Sugar
own,
plum.
Yeah, you got your own thing, man.
She's trying to pull on the emotion of
With
him.
your intellectualness or whatever.
Right.
He's a smarty.
Yeah, that's all he do.
She was trying to pull on the emotion of it, of him, to do the Social Security. She sends it off to the, kind of like those, just any other scammer would, you know? Hey, I'm in this bad situation. Send me this.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe it's just more personal so that they can get more out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of it being like a bank where it's like, yo, cash this check and then send it to this account. And then you got wire fraud.
Yeah, I'm thinking it had to be a scam at this point because she was just using the same thing back over and over
that
again.
Would piss me off. I'm like, I know.
You keep saying the same thing. You keep crying about the same thing. I'm not giving you my SSN.
And then,
but it's a weird scam where you also would meet her parents.
well, then, if it was actually her parents,
You're saying they're actors. This is a scam.
or maybe he was going to get set up.
Well, I have no idea about that, but maybe.
I have no idea about that.
But I do think you're not the asshole for that. I think it's good that you withheld it. I think it's really weird how hard she was trying after
Yeah.
you said no.
That's what I
Multiple times
don't
after you said
get.
no. After you offered really good solutions. You offered multiple different
Yeah.
good solutions to be like, hey, we can figure this out. And she did not budge on any of it. It's very suspicious.
It has to be my friend. You have to give me the Social Security number.
And then her
Yeah.
saying, I don't trust those. And it's like, it's
I don't trust
legitimate
these.
organizations
Yeah,
that,
was
that actually
weird. What
do
do they
it.
have to do with?
So
They
that's
wanna
also
get
what
you?
tipped me off. I was like, there are legitimate organizations. You don't trust a legitimate organization that does this for a job.
Yeah,
Okay.
come with me. Let's go together. Let's do it together.
You get one.
Yeah.
We'll both get one.
Actually, yeah. Let me see your criminal background because there's something under the there's little warning bells going off right now.
Yeah, give me your social. We'll swap
Yeah,
social security
exactly.
numbers. And when I figure out that yours is the real one, I'll give you mine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know.
We'll go dash for dash.
Dash for dash.
So he's pretty super for that, like this last story.
Nice. Maddie's on the board.
I had to.
Maddie's on the board.
It wasn't my best work, but
I would have gave her a fake Social Security number.
yeah. So this last story is, am I the asshole? My wife is super pissed off.
It's such a basic title.
That's funny.
I've been married for 5 years with my wife, who I met nearly 10 years ago. The thing is, she loves traveling a lot, and she loves traveling on the date of her birthday. Last year, we went to Maceió, Brazil, and had a great time. In May, we had a month-long travel to Europe, where we visited some Greek islands, Athens, and a bunch of Spanish cities, and Paris. Her birthday is in a few days, and we had some long talks about traveling. Europe left us in debt, and some health issues left us with almost no savings.
Oh.
Also, we want to have children this year, and we need some medical assistance for that. That also costs money. I told her that maybe this year we cannot afford to travel anywhere, and she didn't like that, but she agreed. But it turns out a few days ago she snapped. She's now super angry because she is staying home for her birthday, that it doesn't matter what we discussed. She never said she didn't want to travel, and that me as her husband should know what she wants for her birthday and should have known that she wanted to travel either way and surprise her with some tickets. I don't really know how to diffuse the situation. I offered to buy some last minute tickets anywhere, but now she doesn't want them because she said I'd just be doing it because she forced me. Am I an asshole?
Of course I'm doing it because you forced me. I'm trying to make you happy. Sorry.
We said no, and I thought that was an actual
I
yes
thought
for
that
me.
was it.
Because we agreed on that.
Yeah.
And we literally don't have money to do it. We're
Right.
actually trying to pay back the money from the last traveling.
That'd be really good.
Because honestly, why are we going in debt to travel in Europe for a month? Maybe 2 weeks. Okay, if we don't have the money to travel, why are we doing that? I don't know. I think this is really unfair of the wife
Yeah.
to agree to communication,
Yeah.
but then at the last second, kind of throw a tantrum and get mad at him for something they both agreed to when they financially do not have money to do that, if they still want to meet their goals of getting out of debt and eventually having children sometime this year.
Yeah.
And for her to just be really angry and throw that all on him is super unfair. And then like when she's throwing a fit and she's about to get her way and he's like, I'll buy tickets, like you guys are saying, anywhere. I'll buy tickets anywhere. And she's like, I don't even want tickets anymore because you're doing it for the wrong reasons. It's like, this guy can't do anything right.
Yeah.
And to at the end, he's like, am I the asshole? This dude just wants to make his wife happy, but also not be in debt. And somehow that's a problem. So
I think the best resolve is just to show her the post.
I don't know if she'll listen.
It's going to hurt, but it'll show because there's no compromise or anything. Like you were saying, there's nothing he can do is going to make her happy besides traveling. But he's thinking big picture where all this stuff is going bad. We need to start fixing these things one at a time. Traveling is one of those things that we can put away for now. Not saying that we're never going to travel again, just not right now until we get our stuff right.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, like,
because I don't want to say what could have happened, but maybe if you guys didn't take a month-long trip last year, you guys could have taken a few-day trip or a week trip this year.
We split up our travel.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, I'm sure it was an amazing, wonderful trip, but sometimes I don't know if it's the best idea to go in debt for a trip that you're still paying off a year later.
Yeah,
you know,
you got to be 65 years old to be taking month-long vacation. A normal person to be taking month-long vacations. That ain't.
And also they went through some type of, I don't think he described it, but they went through health scares that drained their savings.
Yeah.
So at that point too, I'm like, we're not going on a trip. We can't. And the fact that she lied, that frustrates me a lot.
Yeah.
That she tried to be like, I never agreed to that. Girl, stop lying. Don't try and gaslight me right now.
My biggest thing too is if you see all this stuff happening, why aren't you contributing
That's
to
the
help?
unattractive part to me where I'm like, we're in this together. We're a couple. We're married. Do you want us to be more in debt? I don't like when people, they're like, well, I want to do it. But they don't realize like there's consequences to every action we make. And there's things we're trying to build towards. We can't do everything. Unfortunately, I would love to do this. We can't do it if we want to get out of this situation, get into a better situation. This is like the opposite of the first story where she just wanted one thing, and like after a whole thing. They've been doing this to the detriment of their finances. And you're like, okay, man, we got to stop now. And she's like, no, we keep going.
With what money? With what money?
Let's go to Kansas City. Drive to Kansas City.
That's easy.
Yeah, drive to Des Moines. I'm putting where we are.
We're going to go to the hotel that's close to our house, and we're going to swim in the pool, and we're going to act like we're on vacation. All right, so we're probably going to go play some Call of Duty. Thank you guys for joining us for the Comfort Level podcast, and we will see you next time. Bye. And if you're still watching this, make sure to come join our live that we're doing today, right now in this moment.
We're doing
Check
it
the
right
link
now.
and come talk to us live.
Please.